Welcome to my class on chemical equilibrium, dear students. In this lecture, I will give you complete details about the chemical equilibrium related topics, theoretical aspects. Okay, let us start the class. Actually, this chemical equilibrium is also called as dynamic reaction dynamics. That means when a reaction starts, the reactants are consumed and products are made. As you know, the forward reaction, that is nothing but reactants converts into products. Reactants convert into products. Therefore, the reactant concentration decreases and the product concentration increases. As a result, what will happen? The reactant concentration decreases and the forward reaction rate decreases. So eventually, the products can react to reform some of the reactants. That means the reverse reaction, if you see, products will be converted into reactants. Assuming the products are not allowed to escape, then as the product concentration increases, what will happen? The reverse reaction rate increases. So the process that proceeds in both the forward and reverse direction is said to be reversible reaction, reversible process. And that is reactants gives products, products gives reactants. Hypothetical reaction, if you see, 2 red gives blue, red gives blue. So we have time information, red concentration, blue concentration. If you check it, red is in the reactant side and blue is in the product side. So reactant concentration with time is decreasing and blue concentration with time is increasing. So the reaction source slows over the time. It will becomes, that means reaction rate decreases. But red molecules never run out. Okay. At some time between 100 to 110, 100 to 110 seconds, the concentrations of both the red and blue molecules no longer change. So equilibrium has been established. That is the meaning of this one is equilibrium has been established. The concentration of reactants red and blue became constant. So notice that equilibrium does not mean that concentrations are equal. Once the equilibrium is established, the rate of red molecules turning into blue is the same as the rate of blue molecules turning into red. So you can observe the 100 and 110 time interval, the red and blue concentrations. Now you can see here hypothetical reaction for the same reaction. If you see the graphical representation, from 100 the reaction starts. The equilibrium starts establishing from 100. Okay, so this is the red line. This is the blue line. So red line and blue line you are observing carefully. And here in this case, what happens initially, only forward reaction only takes place. So here blue is the rate of forward reaction and orange is the rate of reverse reaction lines. If you observe, this is the curve observed because reactant concentration decreases and the forward reaction slows. As the product accumulate, the reverse reaction speed up. See, eventually what will happen? The reaction proceeds in the reverse direction as fast as it proceeds in the forward direction. Let us say at the time equilibrium, at that time what will happen? Equilibrium will be established here. If you observe these two things, they keep on coinciding with each other. So now if you see this curve, blue and this red or orange, these lines are coinciding from here to here. So these 3 points, whatever you are observing, their equilibrium established. Once the equilibrium established, the forward and reverse reaction proceed at the same time, same rate. So the concentrations of all materials stay constant. Now we'll see what is dynamic equilibrium. As the forward reaction slows and reverse reaction accelerate, eventually they reach the same rate. So dynamic equilibrium is now said to be a condition where the rate of forward and reverse reactions are equal. Once the reaction reaches equilibrium, the concentrations of all the chemicals remains constant because chemicals are being consumed and made at the same rate. See, this is the one more chemical equation to understand the dynamic equilibrium. H2 plus I2 in equilibrium 2HI, all on gaseous state. Once the time is zero, initial condition, what happens? They are only reactants in the mixture. So only forward reaction can take place. Here H2 concentration is taken as 8, I2 concentration is taken as 8, and HI concentration is taken as 0 at the initial time interval. After 16 minutes or time interval at 16, there are both reactants and products in the mixture. So both forward and reverse reaction can take place after that time interval. So at that time, concentration of H2 is 6, I2 is 6, HA is identified as 4. After that, again observed at 32 time interval, there are now more products than reactants in the mixture. The forward reaction has slowed down as the reactants run out and the reverse reaction accelerated at that 32 time interval. Now that time they identified the concentration of H2, concentration of I2 and HI became different. So H2 is H2 is 2, I2 is 4, H2 is 4, I2 is 4, HI is 8 at that time. Now at 48 time interval, the amounts of products and reactants in the mixture have not changed. That means forward and reverse reactions are proceeding at the same rate at this time interval 48 that has reached the equilibrium. So that means if you observe at initially concentrations are only 8 for hydrogen and iodine, but 16 with time interval increasing, concentration of hydrogen decreasing, iodine decreasing, and hydrogen iodide product concentration is increasing. And coming to this 32 time interval, what I have observed is the concentration of H2 and I2 still decreased, that is up to 4, and HI concentration increased. And at 48, notice that equilibrium is reached. That means concentration of H2, concentration of I2, concentration of HI became constant at that time. That is called as equilibrium. So for that, this is a graphical representation. If you observe, that is known as that means the portion here we have shaded part dynamic equilibrium arrow mark. If you observe, that is nothing but the dynamic equilibrium. The equilibrium concentrations continues to take place. As the reaction proceeds, hydrogen and iodine decreases with the concentration, hydrogen iodide concentration increases. So rate slows down the forward direction. And since the product concentration is increasing, the reverse rate definitely acceleration speeds up with the concentration of HI in the reaction. After that, if you observe here, this is the equilibrium established at this point. From here, the HI concentration became constant. That is, this is another one here, iodine red line and hydrogen blue line here shown. The concentration became constant after this line shown. That is equilibrium established. This is the point called as equilibrium. I will continues that we'll call it as dynamic equilibrium. So once equilibrium established, what happens? Concentrations no longer change. I'm moving on to the next one here. Equilibrium established, what happens? Forward reaction rate is same as the reverse reaction rate. Since hydrogen iodine at equilibrium is no longer larger than H2 or I2, we say the position of equilibrium favors the products. So if you observe here, hydrogen iodide concentration is larger than the concentration of I2 or H2. We say the position of equilibrium favors the products. So that has happened here. equilibrium is not equal. That means the rates of forward and reverse reactions are equal at equilibrium. But does not mean that concentrations of reactants and products are equal. That's what we observed in the experimental data taken earlier. And some reactions reach equilibrium only after almost all the reactant molecules are consumed. We say that the position of equilibrium favors the products. Once the reactions reach equilibrium, when only very small percentage of reactant molecules are consumed, we say the position of equilibrium favors the reactants. That means reactants concentration is use value, and if it reaches the equilibrium, then large amounts of reactants in the reaction favors the equilibrium position towards reactants. Analogy. The population changes if you observe here, country A, country B. When a country A citizens feel overcrowded, and some will emigrate to country B. See, observe here the number. What happens? However, as time passes, emigration will occur in both directions at the same rate, leading to populations in country A and B that are constant, though not necessarily equal. So this is the position, we call it as equilibrium position reached when the population became constant in the countries. Next we'll see equilibrium constant. Equilibrium constant is K. Even though the concentrations of reactants and products are not equal at equilibrium, there is a relationship between them. That relationship between the chemical equation and the concentrations of reactants and products is called as law of mass action. That means the rate of reaction depends on the active masses of the substances. That is called as law of mass action. For that, the general equation, if you take AA plus BB gives rise to CC plus DD, the law of mass action gives the relationship. Lowercase letters represent the coefficients of balanced chemical equation, always products over reactants. See, first we will take the products in the fraction, mathematical expression, concentrations divided by reactant concentrations. So C and D are the products, A and B are the reactants. So lower cases means coefficient of A, capital A reactant is small a, coefficient of capital B reactant is small b, coefficient of capital C product is small c, coefficient of the capital D product is small d. That means that coefficients are actually identified once the reaction got balanced. The K is equilibrium constant, which is actually unitless in this case when they are cancelled. So that K is equals to concentration of C power C into concentration of D power D by concentration of A power A into concentration of B power B. So this is the case where the C plus D became A plus B only. This K will become unitless. Writing the equilibrium constant expressions here for the reaction, the same reaction we have taken. The equilibrium constant can be written like this: K is equal to C power C plus D power D by A power A into B power B. So for reaction 2N2O5 gives rise to 4NO2 plus O2. The equilibrium constant expression can be written where the coefficient of NO2 is 4, coefficient of O2 is 1. In this balanced equation, NO2 power 4 into O2 by N2O5 power 2 will become the equilibrium constant expression for this equilibrium of decomposition of nitrogen pentoxide into nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. What does the value of KEQ imply? That is equilibrium constant, right? When the value of K equilibrium constant is extremely greater than 1, it indicates that reaction almost reached the completion. That means when you know that when the reaction reaches equilibrium, there will be many more products molecules present that reactant molecules than reacting molecules. That means the position of the equilibrium favors the products. When the value of K equilibrium is extremely lesser than 1, then we know that when a reaction reaches equilibrium, there will be many more reactant molecules present than product molecules. That means the position of the equilibrium favors reactant side. You see here large equilibrium constant H2 plus Br2 gives rise to 2HBr in this H2 Br2 giving HBr. So 2 moles of HBr. In this reaction, HBr 2 moles is there. So coefficient of HBr is 2. That means in the equilibrium constant, concentration of HBr power 2 will come divided by concentration of H2 and concentration into Br2. It's a larger number. Here you can observe is the large equilibrium constant noticed. A small equilibrium constant. What is a small equilibrium constant? See here, N2, O2 giving 2NO, that means 2 moles of nitric oxide. So this nitric oxide power 2 by NO2, N2 concentration into O2 concentration. A small number is there. It's a very small number is there. When the equilibrium constant is small number, after the calculation, that is a small equilibrium constant. When the value is big number, there is a large equilibrium constant. That means in this reaction, reaction is favorable. Equilibrium favors products formation. When the equilibrium constant is smaller, that means value is less, means reaction equilibrium favors reactant side. That means these reactions need to be accelerated when the equilibrium constant is identified as small value. Next, relationship between K and equilibrium chemical equations. When the reaction is written backwards, the equilibrium constant is inverted. See, in this reaction, we know forward reaction, we have C power C into D power D by A power A into B power B. If this is reversed, and for this reaction, the backward equilibrium constant, what will happen? Equilibrium constant will be reversed to that forward one. So that means backward constant is equals to 1 by forward constant. Next, when the coefficients of equation are multiplied by factor, equilibrium constant is raised to that factor. That means, if you see here, A plus BB gives us CC. For this, the original equilibrium constant is C power C by A power A into B power B. This is the equilibrium constant expression. For 2A plus 2BB gives rise to 2CC. Then we have raised this coefficient, this number is 2. That means the coefficient of equilibrium is now multiplied with 2. Then entire expression is taking place whole square. Got it? So new equilibrium constant expression is now said to be obtained raised to the factor is 2. That means new equilibrium constant is equals to original equilibrium constant power n. N is now we are assuming as factor. Relationships between K and chemical equations. When you add equations to get new equations, then the equilibrium constant of the new equation is the product of the equilibrium constants of old equations. See, for the reactions AA gives rise to BB, BB gives us CC, the equilibrium constant expressions will be known as K1 and K2 here. As per this, this is B power B by A power A for the first equation, and C power C by B power B for the second equation. Now, for the reaction AA gives rise to CC. That means when you add the first two equations taken, AA gives rise to BB and BB gives rise to two equations. If you add, then you will get AA gives rise to CC. That time, new equilibrium constant became C power C by A power A. That can be obtained by the product of the equilibrium constants of the respective chemical equations, general equation, that is K1 and K2. The BB, B power B by A power A into C power C by B power B will become equals to the concentration of equilibrium constant of a new expression, that is third expression, AA gives rise to CC. So that means new equilibrium constant can be obtained when the two equations, chemical equations are added. For that, that equilibrium constant is obtained by multiplying the equilibrium constants of the individual chemical equations. Now we will see, compute the equilibrium constant at 25 degrees Celsius for the reaction of ammonia gives rise to 0.5 N2 and 1.5 H2. So what they given here is equilibrium constant of this expression, ammonia equation is given as 3.7 in 10 to the power of 8 at 25 degrees Celsius they given. The question is finding this NH3, this for this chemical equation NH3 gives rise to 0.5 N2 plus 1.5 H2 at 25 degrees Celsius. So what is the concept plan here is first we have to take the equilibrium constants, that is converted into K dash. That means relationship, if you write it, then backward is equals to 1 by forward and new one will become equals to the equilibrium constant of old one power factor n. So the same if you apply here for the given first equation, they have given the equation for that K1 value taken 3.7 and to the power of 8 given, and for the aim equation, that means the other equation, that is 2 NH3 gives rise to N2 plus 3H. That means reverse equation, the equilibrium constant will become reciprocal of the K1, that is K2 is equals to 1 by 3.7 and to the power of 8 K. Now we will see this expression, that is 0.5 is nothing but 1 by 2 and 1.5 is nothing but 3 by 2. So in this case, the expression K dash, that means K dash is the aim equation equilibrium constant that has become equals to the K2 power 1 by 2, as 1 by 2 is the factor to make this above equation into 2 NH3 equation into NH3 equation. That's why 1 by 2 we wrote. So we substituted that 1 by 2 in the expression of 1 by K1 whole power 1 by 2, then finally got 5.2 to the power of minus 5. So K dash is the equilibrium constant, the aim of the equation, that is NH3 gives rise to 0.5 N2 plus 3 by 2 H2. So this is the answer for this question. Next, equilibrium constants for reactions involving gases. Equilibrium constants for the reactions involving gases means the concentration of gas in a mixture is proportional to its partial pressure. So whenever we have gases in the reaction, concentrations of gases in the mixture are said to be proportional to partial pressures. As per the gas equation, also it is telling that pressure is directly proportional to concentration. So therefore, equilibrium constant can be expressed as the ratio of partial pressures of gases instead of concentrations if we have the gases in the chemical equation. So here, if you take gas equation AA plus BB gives us CC plus DD, general equation, the equilibrium constant expressions can be written with respect to partial pressures. The equilibrium constant can be called as Kp, that is Pc power C into Pd power D by Pa power A into Pd Pb power B. So C concentration and D concentration, the A concentration, B concentrations are replaced with the respect to partial pressures. Now, what is Kc and Kp? So, in calculating Kp, the partial pressures are always in atmospheres. The values of Kp and Kc are not necessarily the same because the difference in units are different here. Kp will become equals to Kc when we have delta n is 0. That means the difference between the sum of the coefficients of products and reactants, if it is 0, then only the Kp will become equals to 0. Kp will become equals to Kc, delta n will become equals to 0. Now the relationship between Kp and Kc is this one. Kp is equals to Kc into RT power delta n can be obtained from the Pv is equal to nRT expression by substituting the concentration value, concentration value as per the Pv is equal to nRT, n by V will become the concentration, and you'll get this is the expression Kp is equal to Kc into RT power delta n. What is the delta n? Delta n is the difference between the number of moles of reactants and number of moles of products. Now, how you will get the Kc and Kp? Now, I am telling that is concentration of A can be written as number of moles of A by volume. So here N is number of Na is number of moles of A, and V is the volume of the gas. That can be applicable for all the reactants and products. Then the PV is equal to N0 expression for with respect to A ideal gas is PV, PAV is equal to Na into RT. for the ideal gas. So substituting this P is equal to N by Na by V into RT, then what will happen? That concentration of A is become PA by RT. So the same thing will be applicable for other concentrations like X. If you say if you write, it will become PX by RT. That means this PC power C, PD power D, and all these things obtained once the concentration of C written as the partial pressures of C and D, A and B respectively. C concentration we are writing as PC by RT power C, and D concentration we are writing as PD by RT power D. A concentration is PA by RT power A, and B concentration is PB by RT power B. Likewise, this is simplified after that we got Kp into 1 by RT whole power C plus D minus A plus B. That C plus D minus A plus B is called as delta N. So upon modification, then Kp will become equals to Kc into RT power C plus D minus A plus B. That is now taken as delta N. So that is the difference in the number of moles of gases, reactants, gases, products minus gases, reactants. Delta N is always obtained by the sum of the gases products minus sum of the gases reactants. Now we'll see a problem. Find Kc for the reaction 2NO plus O2 gives rise to 2NO2 given, and a Kp is equals to 2.2 into 10 to the power of 12 at 25 degrees Celsius. So what is the given one is Kp. What is the aim of the problem is to find the Kc. Here concept map you can observe here Kp should be converted into Kc. The relationship we have observed Kp is equal to Kc into RT power delta N, and for the given reaction also if you see that delta N value is became -1 from this one because 2 minus 2 plus 1 is -1. So that when you can substitute here, this is delta N became -1, and that is substituted in the relation of that Kc is obtained 5.4 to the power of 13. This R is universal ideal gas equation, that is 0.0821 into 10 to the 298 we have taken because 25 degrees Celsius given the problem. So we check it. K is unitless number. Here K is unitless number. Since there are more moles of reactants than products, K should be larger than Kp, and it is because see what is the Kp value given 2.2 into the power of 12, and Kc value we obtained is 5.4 into the power of 13. That means Kc should be larger than Kp is obtained. Why? Because here we are multiplying this RT power delta N with Kc, and that is now obtained 5.4 at the power of 13. Why? Because delta N, whenever it is negative value, obviously what will happen, the Kp Kc relation is nothing but Kp is said to be lesser than Kc. Now let's see what is heterogeneous equilibrium. Pure solids and pure liquids are the materials whose concentration does not change during the course of the reaction. So this is all we are aware of it, that its amount can change, but the amount of it in solution does not change. That means because it's not in the solution, because the concentration does not change, the solids and liquids are not included in the equilibrium constant expression. That means whenever we have solids and liquids are there, pure solids and liquids are there, the concentrations, all these things we won't consider in the calculation part. That means whenever you have concentration of solids, concentration of liquids in the pure state are there, means that will be taken as a constant value, is a unity you can take. So in this reaction, if you see A is the reactant in solid state, B is the reactant in liquid state, aqueous condition, and C is in liquid state, and D is in aqueous condition. So aqueous condition things only will take in the solution, because almost change, but amount of the solution does not change because it's not in the solution. So what they are telling in this one is pure solids and liquids are materials whose concentration does not change during the course of the reaction. Amount can change, but amount of it in solution does not change because it's not in solution. So that means they are not in the solution. Then this is A is not in the solution and C is also not in the solution. That means B and D are in the solution. So their concentrations only will be taken in the equilibrium expression that was taken here. Kc is equals to d power d by b power b as the answer came. Next, heterogeneous equilibrium. Heterogeneous equilibrium, if we observe here in this one, we have carbon monoxide is converting into carbon dioxide and carbon, where carbon is solid in the product side and carbon dioxide is gas, carbon monoxide is gas. So if you observe the heterogeneous equilibrium, in this, the amount of carbon is different, but the amounts of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide remains the same. Therefore, the amount of carbon has no effect on the position of equilibrium. That means this is the pure form of carbon which does not change the equilibrium. So its concentration is constant that time. So Kc, when you are writing for this equation, then CO2 concentration will be taken, CO concentration will be taken, but we are not taking the concentration of C because that is constant unity. So Kp is equals to partial pressure of CO2 by partial pressure of CO power 2 came because whether it is partial pressure or is a concentration, that solids and liquids in pure form, not in the solution, will not be taken in the equilibrium expression. Calculate the equilibrium constants from measured equilibrium concentrations. See, the most direct way of finding the equilibrium constant is to measure the amounts of reactants and products in mixture at equilibrium. Actually, you only need to measure one amount, then use stoichiometry to calculate the other amounts. Equilibrium mixture may have different amounts of reactants and products, but the value of equilibrium constant always be the same. As long as the temperature is kept constant, the value of equilibrium constant is independent of initial amounts of reactants and products. Now you'll see initial and equilibrium concentrations of H2, I2, HI. All these things, if you are taken for hydrogen iodide, there is a important data is taken in this. Initially, when you have taken hydrogen and iodine concentration is 0.5. Initially, hydrogen iodide concentration is 0 as products are 0 at the initial time interval. That means time interval is 0 means what will happen? Obviously, the hydrogen iodide concentration will become 0. But at equilibrium reach, that means there is some quantity of reactant is consumed and product formed. That time, initially, whatever is there 0.5 that has become 0.11 for hydrogen iodide and hydrogen iodide has become 0.78. So these equilibrium concentrations are taken to find the equilibrium concentration at that time, got 50 as the answer. And coming to the next time, that means once completely hydrogen iodide and iodide is consumed, hydrogen iodide formed after the completion of a reaction, the equilibrium concentrations that time has became 0.055 for hydrogen iodide, hydrogen and iodine each, and hydrogen iodide became 0.39. So here also that value came 50. That means initial and equilibrium concentrations. Initial concentrations, equilibrium concentrations here taken. Finally, equilibrium concentrations only we are substituting the equilibrium constant expression. See, if you have taken the concentrations initially, if you have taken 0, 0, 0, 0.5, 0.5 hydrogen iodide, and that values became 0.165 at equilibrium and 1.17 for hydrogen iodide. That is substituted, answer came 50. Likewise, initially hydrogen is 1, iodide is 0.5, hydrogen iodide is 0. But equilibrium reach remains, these values are changed. It means 0 value of hydrogen iodide is became 0.935 because reaction reached the equilibrium and some quantity of reactants converted into products. But in the second experiment, if you observe here, zero values are there, hydrogen iodide, hydrogen and iodine. But here hydrogen iodide reaction, hydrogen iodide concentration is 0.5 became 0.3539 because hydrogen iodide is converted into hydrogen and iodine in that second experiment here shown. Okay. Next, calculating the equilibrium concentrations. Calculating the equilibrium concentrations. Stoichiometry can be used here to determine the equilibrium concentrations of reactants and products. If you know the initial concentrations and one equilibrium concentration. Suppose you have reaction 2A plus B gives rise to 4C. With initial concentrations, A is 1 molarity, B is 1 molarity, and C is 0. You then measure the equilibrium concentration of C, that is 0.5 molarity. So initially A is 1, B is 1, C is 0. Change in the concentration. So change in the concentration is plus 0.5. That means when the concentration of C is plus 0.5 means that same concentration for each of the reactants is said to be decreased. So that's why what happened, this concentration of B, concentration of A, you have taken like that because why you have taken the coefficient before 0.5 for A is 1/2 because there is 2 moles of A is there in the reactant side. So 1/2 concentration is 0.5 and 1/4 concentration of B into 0.5. So finally it has obtained as 0.75 equilibrium molarity of A and 0.88 equilibrium molarity of B. So here to find out all these things, the change in the concentrations, all these things can be obtained by a different manner. That is nothing but if you assume this dissociation constant, accordingly you can find this value also. So I'll show you. How it came. See, suppose concentration of C, concentration of A initial is 1 is there, right? So 1 minus, there is degree of dissociation is, that means alpha taken as in the expression at equilibrium, and for that is become 1 minus 2 alpha, and B value is 1 minus alpha, and 4C came, that is 4 alpha, right? So using this expression you can find, see here you measure the equilibrium concentration of C as C is equals to 0.5. So here in this 1 minus 2 alpha, 1 minus alpha, 4 alpha, what is the total concentration is there? The total concentration can be noticed, number of moles. After you can find the answer here. That is 1 plus alpha came. The total is 1 plus alpha came. So that is 0.5 for C, and minus 1/4 concentration of B, that is alpha, concentration of A is minus 1/2. So here in this, the challenge is nothing but they have given one thing, that is it should be 4B only, not B. So then only it will come out. Anyway, in the numericals again, this will be discussed. So it has become 0.75, which is the A value, B value 0.88, C value 0.50 came. Next, so it will be discussed once this expression is given directly, equilibrium molarity they are given. So they have already given the equilibrium molarity as 0.5. So equilibrium molarity concentration is 0.5 given for C, means the concentration of A and B can be obtained from that one. Why? Because the 4 alpha, whatever I told, that is equals to 0.5. Then what is the alpha? I'll give you the clarity about that one. What is the alpha? 0.5 divided by 4. That is 0.125. So when the initial concentration, of A is 1, it has become 1 minus 2 alpha. 1 minus 2 alpha means alpha we got 0.125, that is multiplied with 2, we'll get 0.25. So 1 minus 0.25 is 0.75. That is A concentration which is given. This is for A. What about B? For B, what happens? It is 1 minus alpha only. 1 minus alpha only. That's why the alpha value here is taken as 0.15. That's why 1 minus 0.125. Instead of 0.125, they are taken 0.12. If you take 0.125, 1 minus 0.125, actually it is 0.875. That is taken approximately 0.88. That's why here shown the value of A is 0.75. The value of B is 0.88. Right? So that is the answer for this question. Now, see the next one. That is, find the value of Kc for the reaction 2CH4 gives rise to C2H2 plus 3H2 at 1700 degrees Celsius. The initial concentration of methane is 0.115 molarity, and the equilibrium concentration of C2H2 is 0.035 molarity. So we have to find the C value. So initial concentrations given. These are the concentrations given for methane. That is methane is 0.115 and acetylene is 0 value initially, but equilibrium concentration of acetylene is given as plus 0.35, and we have to find the Kc value. Okay. In this, what happens? There is a 2 moles of methane is there. Coefficient of methane in the equation is 2 is there. So 2 into alpha they have directly given, that is 0.035. So that is taken, that is decreasing for reactant, and product 3 moles of H2 is there, that is 3 into 0.035 taken. So that is substituted, that values are calculated. 0.045 came for methane and 0.105 came for hydrogen. So these values are substituted in the equilibrium constant, that is C2H2 concentration into H2 concentration power 3 by methane concentration, and got 0.020 value as the equilibrium constant. So here the values how we have calculated is, the values we have calculated based on the discussion here. That is, they have already given 0.035 equilibrium concentration. For the given equation, we can write the methane value is 2 alpha. Acetylene value is alpha. Hydrogen value is 3 alpha. Like that, if you can take, then you will get the answer. That is equilibrium concentrations of methane is 2 alpha, acetylene is alpha, and hydrogen is 3 alpha. Like that, you can substitute the values. So, hope you observed this discussion. Moving to the next one. The following data were collected for the reaction. The following data were collected for the reaction. 2NO2 gets rise to N2O4 at 100 degrees Celsius. Complete the table. Determine the values of Kp and Kc for each experiment. So, they have not given some of the values here, changing the concentration of dinitrogen tetroxide and the experiment 1 and experiment 2 and nitrogen dioxide. Well, this is the table form here given. So, we have to fill that one. That means Kc value for this reaction is N2O4 by NO2 concentration power 2. And substituted the values of R value 0.0821 and temperature 100 degrees Celsius means 373. And for the given equation, the delta N value is 1 minus 2 is minus 1. And that is obtained Kp. So Kp value initially, notice this is the value. And Kc value in the experiment 1. So experiment 1, what is the Kc value is 4.7. In experiment 2, the Kc value obtained is 0.15. Because taken the experiment values, we have substituted these N2O4 and NO2 concentrations. We got these values. And experiment 2, Kc value is 4.7. Actually, these are the values given. So equilibrium concentrations, once they are given is 0.015. So in the experiment, 1 Kc value we obtained by putting this value 0.0452 in this one. Okay. 0.0172, 0.0141. So that is experiment 1. In experiment 2, also we have taken the equilibrium concentrations of N2O4 and NO2. 0.00452 is taken the concentration of N2O4. 0.0310 taken the concentration of NO2. Got the Kc value 4.7. That means the Kp and Kc values can be obtained whenever they are given the data information like this. Next, move to the next one, the reaction coefficient. See, earlier we have calculated the equilibrium concentration when we have given the concentrations at equilibrium only. But the concentrations are not at equilibrium. Then what we will call it about the ratio of the concentrations? That we will call it as reaction coefficient. If a reaction mixture containing both reactants and products is not at equilibrium, how can we determine which direction it will proceed? So it's a question mark, definitely. Because equilibrium concentration means the reaction is not proceeding anywhere, concentrations are constant, and equilibrium is not going to shift anywhere. But the point is very clear that concentrations, when they are different, their concentrations are not said to be equilibrium concentration. Then the answer is to compare the current concentration ratios to the equilibrium constant. So that ratio we will call it as a reaction coefficient. That means concentration of ratio of products raised to the power of the coefficients to the reactants raised to the power of the coefficients is called reaction coefficient. So there is no big difference between the expressions of equilibrium constant and reaction coefficient. But in the reaction coefficient, the concentrations need not be equilibrium concentrations, and pressures also need not be at equilibrium. That means they need not be equilibrium pressures. So PC, PD, all these expressions of reaction coefficients are same as that of equilibrium constant with respect to concentrations, with respect to partial pressures. The reaction coefficient predicting the direction of the change here. So what is the important significance of the reaction coefficient is it will decides the direction of the reaction. That means in which direction the reaction proceeds, because we have two directions are there in the reversible reaction, forward direction and backward direction. Whenever the coefficient value is greater than K, the reaction proceeds the reverse direction because the product's concentration will decrease and reactant concentration will increase. That's why the reaction proceeds the reverse direction. When the coefficient value is lesser than the equilibrium constant, then the reaction will proceed in the forward direction, fastest and forward direction, and products will increase, reactants will decrease. So whenever products are increasing, that is forward direction. Whenever reactants are increasing, that is reverse direction. When both are equal, in any case, when the reaction coefficient value and equilibrium constant value both are equal, then the products and reactants will not change. So there is no change. The state is called as equilibrium stage. That means reaction coefficient decides the equilibrium position. That means equilibrium, whether it is established or reaction moving in the forward direction or backward direction, that can be decided by the inequalities between the reaction coefficient and equilibrium constant. If the reaction mixture contains just reactants, then the reaction coefficient is 0 and the reaction will proceed in the forward direction. See, reaction coefficient is 0. In such a case, the reaction will proceed in the forward direction. If a reaction mixture contains just products, that means only products, reactions is 0. That means usually the equilibrium expression, coefficient expression, products are there in the numerator and reactants are there in denominator. Reactants value is 0 means what happens? Reaction coefficient will become infinitive. So reaction mixture contains just products, then reaction coefficient will become infinitive. Reaction proceed in the reverse direction to increase the concentration of reactants. You can see here Q, K and the direction of the reaction. You can see the blue line here like this. That is increasing the concentration of reactants. Over the y-axis taken the Q or K, x-axis taken the concentration. When the Q is less than K, a reaction runs to right side, that means the forward direction. This is the direction, observation. When the Q is K equal to K, then the reaction is at equilibrium. When Q is greater than K, reaction proceeds in the backward direction. Like this. This is the direction. Next, you see, for the reaction below, which direction will proceed if partial pressure of iodine is 0.114 atmospheres and chlorine is 0.102, ICl is 0.355 for this reaction. They given Kp value, we have to find the coefficient and comparing that one with this Kp to give the direction of the reaction. The direction of reaction will proceed in which direction? For that, we have plan is that is partial pressures of I2Cl to ICl, and that should be substituting the coefficient value. So if it is same, then okay, equilibrium. If Q is less than K, that is forward direction. Q Q is greater than K, reverse direction. That is the relationship we have learned. Now we will substitute the values given. The given values are substituted in that expression. Coefficient equilibrium, coefficient expression got 10.8. But Kp value we have 81.2 is there. So Q value is less than K, reaction proceeds in the forward direction, right side. Next, if COF2 equilibrium concentration given as 0.255 and CF4 equilibrium concentration is given as 0.118 and Kc value is given as 2 at 1000 degrees Celsius. Find the concentration, equilibrium concentration of CO2 for the reaction which is given, that is 2COF2 gives us CO2 plus CF4. You are given the reaction and Kc, and you are also given the equilibrium concentrations of some of the substances, all about one of the chemicals here. So what you have to find is, they have to find the concentration, equilibrium concentration, particularly for carbon dioxide. So you can calculate missing concentration using equilibrium constant expression also. So we have to first write the equilibrium constant expression. From that you have to deduce the concentration of CO2. So from that, if you write CO2 concentration means Kc into COF2 concentration power 2 by concentration of CF4. So this one I have written. Of that, COF2 concentration given in the question substituted, and Kc value 2 given substituted, CF4 concentration 0.118 substituted. Of that, simplification got 1.10 molarity. So round the significant figure, the substitute back in. So units and magnitudes are also okay. So it is correct one, because once you have checked the units that is coming correctly, then it is correct only. Next one. A sample of phosphorus pentachloride is placed in 0.5 liter container and heated to 160 degrees Celsius. A PCl5 is decomposed to PCl3 and Cl2. At equilibrium, 0.203 moles of PCl3 and Cl2 are formed. Determine the equilibrium concentration of phosphorus pentachloride if Kc is 0.0635. For that, you don't know the concentration of PCl5. So the number of moles of PCl3 given in the question is 0.203. Number of moles by volume is concentration. So that is taken. And PCl5 concentration, that is aim equation given, that is PCl3 into Cl2 by Kc, substituted the values, and finally got 2.60 molarity is the concentration of phosphorus pentachloride. Find the equilibrium concentrations when given equilibrium constant and initial concentrations of pressures. How to find the equilibrium concentrations when the given equilibrium constant and initial concentration of pressures. First, decide when the direction of the reaction will proceed. Which direction it will proceed? Compare Q and K and define the changes of all the materials in terms of X. See, this is what we observed in the calculations. So these all things can be identified from these rules. These are the rules only to find the equilibrium concentrations and equilibrium constants or concentrations or pressures at equilibrium. So define the changes of all materials in terms of X. So that's what we have taken as alpha. Use the coefficient for the chemical equation for the coefficient of X. X is nothing but is positive for materials on the side right of the reaction proceeding towards in the forward direction, and X is negative in the materials on the side of reaction proceeding away from it. So that's what we told 1 minus alpha, 1 plus alpha. And solving alpha, we'll find the concentrations, equilibrium constants. Next, using that information rules, you can see one more problem, that is I2 plus Cl2 gives us to 2ICl. Kp value given is 81.8. Initial concentration, initial pressures of all are taken 1. Find the equilibrium concentrations. So you have to find the concentrations taking initial partial pressures. See, partial pressures, Qp value calculated, that came 1. That means whenever Qp and Kp relation here written, the reaction proceeds in the forward direction. So taken the changes I2 and Cl2, the change in the concentrations taken minus x for Cl2 plus 2x. Equilibrium concentration already given, taken 0.10 means there is a pressure substituted, and in that x value should be determined. So x value determined upon mathematical dealing. So after finding that x value 0.0729 substituted, and partial pressure of iodine came 0.027. Cl2 also same, but ICl became double of this one, that is 0.246, because ICl expression is 0.1 plus 2x, 0.246 atmospheres came. So find the equilibrium concentrations means using the partial pressures you can find the equilibrium concentrations. So that values are substituted in the Kp expression, got 83. So Kp calculated is Kp given within significant figures. That means approximately. Next, for a reaction I2 gives rise to 2I, the value of Kc is equals to 3.76 10 to the power of minus 5 at 1000 Kelvin. If 1 mole of iodine is placed into 2 liters flask and heated, what will be the equilibrium concentrations of I2 and I? We'll need to use the quadratic formulas to solve X, like we have observed earlier. So here, initially I2 is 0.5 and I is 0. Okay. That means if 1 mole of I2 is placed in 2 liters of flask, so number of moles by volume, number of moles is 1, volume is 2. So 1 by 2 is 0.5. That's why here given 0.5. And iodine concentration is 0 initially as it is the product. Change in the concentration is minus x and plus 2x. So that is added here. Now, initially I concentration is 0, Q is 0, then the reaction proceeds in the forward direction. So that Kc value is taken from the equilibrium expression, and Kc value given in the question substituted, and concentration of I, that is 2x value, it became 4x square because I concentration power 2 is there, and that is substituted. After that, the quadratic equation obtained. Once the quadratic equation is solved, got x value equal to 0.00216, and that is substituted in this expression. Equilibrium concentrations obtained for iodine is 0.498, for iodine atom that is 0.00432 came. These are values. What will be the equilibrium concentrations of I2 and I told? So that is the equilibrium concentration. These values are substituted to check the answer. So this is in agreement with the Kc value given to us. So these are the correct answers. Approximations to simplify the math. When the equilibrium constant is very small, the position of equilibrium favors the reactants. For relatively large initial concentration of reactant, the reactant concentration will not change significantly when it reaches equilibrium. So concentration equilibrium is equals to initial concentration minus Ax. You have taken as approximate initial concentration. We are approximating the equilibrium concentrations of reactants to be the same as the initial concentrations in this large concentration of reactants. Assuming reaction is proceeding in the forward direction, only it is possible. Checking the approximation and refining as necessary. We can check our approximation afterwards by comparing the approximate value of x to the initial concentration. If the approximate value of x is less than 5% of the initial concentration, the approximation is valid. If the approximate is concentration, initial concentration into 100% is less than 5%, that is approximation is valid. So that can be checked using this expression. Now see the one more problem. For the reaction 2H2S in equilibrium with the 2H2 plus S2, 800 degrees Celsius, Kc value is given 1.67 10 to the power of minus 7. A 0.5 liters flask initially containing 1.25 10 to the power of minus 4 moles of H2S heated at 800 degrees Celsius, the equilibrium concentrations are what? So we have to find the equilibrium concentrations of the compounds. Already they have given one hint, that is 0.5 liters flask and moles of H2S. Using this one, you can find the concentration of H2S. E minus 4 is then, don't think otherwise, that is 10 power minus 4 only. That is, we have converted that one 10 power minus 4 because 1 mole they are given, we made it 2 moles. So 1.25 into 2 is 2.5. So H2S is minus 2x as per the balanced equation. H2 is plus 2x because 2 moles of H2 is there, and S2 is x plus x, and these values are taken, and the Kc expression, and the Kc expression is simplified. The simplified Kc expression finally x value calculated using the mathematics, higher mathematics, and you got x value 1.38 and power of minus 5, and that is substituted and identified the percentage. The percentage is 5.52 percentage came. So greater than 5% is there. That means the approximation is not valid, because if this percentage is less than 5 is there, that is valid. Because what is the expression I have earlier shown in that approximation, that is taking the approximation, defining as necessary, is this approximation should not cross 5%. That's why this problem, after doing this calculation, this approximation is not valid, is the result we have noticed. This is a problem. See the next problem, that is for the reaction I2 gives us 2I. In this model, we have observed the same fashion, that expression we have observed for the same model problem we have already done, and percentage notice, this percentage came less than 5, so this approximation is valid. Another one here, that is matches with the Kc values, this problem we have observed. Disturbing and re-establishing equilibrium. So let us see. Once the reaction is at equilibrium, the concentrations of reactants and products remains the same. However, if the concentrations are changed, the concentration of all the chemicals will change until equilibrium re-established. And new concentrations will be different from the equilibrium concentration will be the same. So equilibrium concentration is same, but the new concentrations are different unless you change the temperature, because equilibrium constant is depending on temperature. So that re-establishment of equilibrium can be noticed, studied using Le-Chatelier's principle. So Le-Chatelier's principle helping us to understand how equilibrium re-established when the equilibrium is disturbed. Le-Chatelier principle guides us to predict the effect of various changes in conditions have on the position of equilibrium. It says that if a system at equilibrium is disturbed, the position of equilibrium will shift to maximize the disturbance. Disturbances here are all involved making the system open. So this is what we observed about the population changes earlier also. So equilibrium is disturbed here, the country B, when an influx of population enters and complex country B from somewhere outside country A disturbs the equilibrium established between country A and country B. So this is the general idea about the how equilibrium can be disturbed. So as a result, what will happen? The people moving from country B into country A faster than moving from country A to B. This will continue until a new equilibrium between the populations is established. However, new populations will have different numbers of people than the old ones. So that means re-establishment of equilibrium takes place with the different concentrations. The effect of concentration of changes on equilibrium. Adding a reactant will decrease the amounts of other reactants and increase the amounts of products until a new position of equilibrium is found. that has the same K, because removing the product will increase the amounts of other products and decrease the amounts of reactants. You can use this to drive the reaction to completion. So in this, any confusion is there, you can see this blue line, that is equilibrium shifts away from the side with added chemicals or towards the side removed chemicals. So when you remove any of the substance on any side of the chemical reaction, equilibrium moves in that direction only. So if you remove the substances in the product side, the equilibrium moves towards product side only to reduce the disturbance. Similarly, if you remove the substances in the reactant side, equilibrium shifts in the reactant side, means it's a reverse direction to reduce the disturbance. Remember, adding more of the solid or liquid actually does not change the concentration. Therefore, there is no effect on the equilibrium. See, removing is one concept, adding is another concept. When you add reactants or products, when you add solids or liquids to reactant side or product side, that won't affect any kind of change in the equilibrium. Disturbing equilibrium is possible by adding or removing the reactants. Means it is the amount we are telling, it is the concentration information. So when you add reactants, concentration of reactants is increasing. When you add products, amount of products to the reaction at equilibrium, then the product concentration increases. So after equilibrium established, how will adding the reactants affect the rate of forward reaction? How will it affect the rate of reverse reaction? And what will this cause? How will it affect the value of K? As long as the added reactant is included in the equilibrium constant expression, not a solid or a liquid, then equilibrium established will removing the reactant affect the rate of forward reaction. How will affect the rate of reverse reaction? What will the cause? That is noticed here. That means as long as the added reactants is included, equilibrium constant expression remains the same, not a solid or a liquid is added. So this is repeated only. There is no issue in this one. So adding reactant initially increases the rate of forward reaction, but has no initial effect on the rate of reverse reaction. Reaction proceeds to the right until the equilibrium re-established. At the new equilibrium position, you will have more products than before, less the non-added reactants than before, and less the added reactant. But not as little of the added reactant as you had before the addition. At the new equilibrium position, concentrations of reactants and products will be such that the value of equilibrium constant is same. Disturbing equilibrium, that is removing reactants. So removing reactant initially decreases the rate of forward reaction, but has no initial effect on the rate of reverse reaction. So the reaction is going faster in the reverse direction when you remove the reactants. So the reaction proceeds in the left until equilibrium re-established. At the new equilibrium position, what will happen? You will have less of the products than before and more of the non-removed reactants than before and more the removed reactants, but not as much of the removed reactant as you had before the removal. At the new equilibrium position, what will happen? The concentrations of reactants and products will be same, that the value of equilibrium constant is same. Effect of adding a gas to a gas phase reaction at equilibrium. Adding a gaseous reactant increases the partial pressure, causing the equilibrium to the right. Increasing its partial pressure increases the concentration, does not increase the partial pressure of the other gases in the mixture. Adding inert gas to the mixture has no effect on the position of equilibrium. So if you add inert gas to the gaseous reaction, it won't get affected because inert gases are not going to change the equilibrium. Does not affect the partial pressures of gases in the reaction. Effect of concentration changes on equilibrium. See N2O4, NO2 equation in this. If you add NO2 to the reaction, equilibrium definitely gets disturbed. And more N2O4 will be formed. the system shifts to the left. So this is what here observed. The lines here, blue line, here red line with time interval. So when NO2 is added, some of it combines to make more N2O4. So here, when N2O4 is added, some of it decomposes and makes more NO2. See, equilibrium is re-established with a different concentration. Here, red line, NO2 concentration and N2O4 concentrations are shown here. Earlier also shown. That is NO2 concentration with blue line, N2O4 concentration with the red line. Effect of volume change in equilibrium. Decrease the size of container increases the concentration of all the gases in the container. That means size of the container, if you decrease, concentration of all the gases increases only because pressure increases. If the partial pressure increases, then the total pressure of the container will also increase. According to Le-Chatelet principle, what you notice is equilibrium should shift to remove that pressure. So the way the system reduces the pressure is to reduce the number of gas molecules in the container. So when the volume decreases, what happens? Equilibrium shift to the side with the fewer gases molecules. Another one, disturbing equilibrium, changing the volume. After equilibrium established, how will decreasing the concentration container volume affect the total pressure of solids, liquids and gases? How will it affect the concentrated solids, liquids and solutions, gases? And what will this cause? How will it affect the value K? For solids, liquids and solutions, changing the size of the container has no effect on the concentration. Therefore, no effect on the position of the equilibrium. Decreasing the container volume will increase the total pressure. According to Boyle's law, if the total pressure increases, partial pressure of all the gases will increases. Dalton's law of partial pressures is telling that decreasing the container volume increases the concentration of gases. Same number of moles, but different number of liters, resulting different molarities. So the total pressure increases, the position of equilibrium will shift to decrease the position pressure by removing the gas molecules. Shift towards the side with the fewer gas molecules. At a new equilibrium position, the partial pressure of gases, reactants and products will be such that the value of the equilibrium constant is same. So effect of volume changes on equilibrium. So 4 moles of gas is there and 2 moles of gas is there on the product side, and reactant side 4 moles is there. Since there is no more gas molecules on the reactant side of the reaction, when the pressure is increased, the position of equilibrium shift towards products. So when you increase the pressure, so here in this picture, increasing the pressure shown. Another picture, if you see here, decreasing the pressure. When you decrease the pressure, what will happen? When the pressure is decreased by increasing the volume, means the position of equilibrium shift towards the side with the gas greater number of molecules. So greater number of molecules is reactant side is there, so it's reverse direction. The effect of temperature on changes on equilibrium position. Exothermic reactions release energy and endothermic reactions absorb energy. If you write heat as product in the exothermic reaction or as the reactant in the endothermic reaction, it will help use the Le-Chatelet principle to predict the effect of temperature changes. Even though heat is not a matter and not written in a proper equation. For exothermic reaction, heat is a product. Increase the temperature like adding heat. According to Le-Chatelet principle, equilibrium will shift away from the added heat. That means in the reverse direction. Adding heat to exothermic reaction will decrease the concentration of products and increase the concentration of reactants. So adding heat to an exothermic reaction will decrease the value of K as reactant concentration increases, product concentration decreases. So how will decrease the temperature effect of the system here? See, so for the question, we have an answer here. How will decrease in the temperature effect of system? Shown. Effect of temperature change on equilibrium for endothermic reactions. See, for endothermic reaction, heat is reactant. So what happens? According to Le-Chatelier principle, equilibrium will shift away from the added heat. So adding heat to an endothermic reaction will decrease the concentration of reactants and increase the concentration of products. So when the reactant concentration is decreasing, then definitely this K value increases. So that means how will decrease the temperature effect of system here? Kc value, and this concentration of C and D increases for endothermic reaction. Effect of temperature changes on equilibrium. See here N2O4, NO2, N2O4 decomposition. Colorless is N2O4 and NO2 is brown in color. So if you see higher temperature, NO2 is favored, lower temperature, N2O4 is favored. Because when you increase the temperature, what will happen? The brown color intensity increases in the reaction. When you decrease the temperature, the brown color disappears to colorless. Not change the position of equilibrium using catalyst. Catalyst provide an alternate and more efficient mechanism, works for both forward and reverse direction. That means what is the role play of catalyst we are observing here? Affects the rate of forward and reverse reactions by same factor. That means the catalyst do not affect the position of equilibrium. It will help us to reach the equilibrium. It will help the chemical reaction to reach the equilibrium position. The reaction 2SO2 plus O2 gives rise to 2SO3 with the delta H value is minus 198 kilojoules is at equilibrium. How will each of the following changes affect the equilibrium concentrations of each gas once the equilibrium is re-established? Okay, here adding more water to the container. What will happen? Adding more water to the container, reaction process in the forward direction, equilibrium shifts in the forward direction to reduce the content of O2. Condensing and removing SO2. So SO2 is then the product side. That SO2, if you remove, what will happen? So to improve this SO2 content, equilibrium shifts in the forward direction. Compressing the gases. Compressing the gases means that pressure increases. When the pressure increases, what will happen? Obviously, the reactant moves, the reaction moves to reduce the pressure, means in the less number of molecule side towards forward direction. Cooling the container. Cooling the container means it is reducing the temperature of the reaction. When you reduce the temperature of the reaction, so what will happen? Obviously, reaction proceeds in the forward direction. Doubling the volume of the container. So here, this is an exothermic reaction. For the reaction, if you reduce the temperature, that means you are converting the reaction from the left side to right side to left side, means the product side only. Doubling the volume of container. Doubling the volume of the container means pressure is increased, pressure is reduced, reducing the pressure. When the volume increases, pressure reduces. Pressure reduces means the equilibrium shifts in the direction which greater number of molecules. Warming the mixture. When you increase, when you heat that mixture, what will happen? Obviously, what will happen for the reaction, exothermic reaction, if you increase the temperature, reaction proceeds in the backward direction. Adding the inert gas helium to container. So it won't affect any kind of change in the equilibrium direction. Another one. Adding a catalyst to the mixture. So when you add the catalyst to the mixture, also it won't affect any kind of the equilibrium, but it will help to establish the equilibrium. See, first one, shift to SO3. Second one, shift to SO3. Third one, shift to SO3 in the forward direction. Cooling the container, shift to SO3. Doubling the volume of the container, shift towards SO2, means pressure increases. Warming the mixer, shift to SO2. Adding helium, there is no effect. Adding catalyst, there is no effect. So this is the content we have discussed in this session, dear students. We have discussed about all the important things in the equilibrium concepts, but here in this session, what are the problems are there? The problems will be again discussed on the board, and board class will be there for the problems. Don't worry about that one. Now, in this session, what we have discussed, once I will recapitalize, that means reaction dynamics we discussed, graphical representations, what is the dynamic equilibrium definition we have given with the examples. Then after we have shown the graphical representation for dynamic equilibrium. After that, equilibrium applications, population changes, one information also shown. Equilibrium constant expressions, how to write expressions we have given. Then after, what is equilibrium constant value when it is extremely greater than 1, when it is extremely less than 1, what is the equilibrium position shown. Large equilibrium constants, small equilibrium constants, relationships between the K and chemical equations we have shown. That means how the factor, that means when a factor is introduced in relating the original equilibrium with the new equilibrium shown. Then after, we have taken some of the problems and the problem solved. Then after, we have discussed about the equilibrium constants Kc and Kp and their relationship and derivation considering the ideal gases. That we have solved some of the problems. We have defined the heterogeneous and homogeneous equilibria, homogeneous equilibria definitions with the examples. Calculate the equilibrium constants, concentrations, also with the numerical problems we have shown. Then after, we did so many problems, and reaction coefficient also shown in this one, reaction coefficient with a graphical representation we have solved. After that, Lee-Chandler principle also we have discussed. That is the application of the equilibrium concepts. Finally, we have concluded this concept with the Lee-Chandler principle and the effect of temperature, effect of concentrations of reactants and products on a chemical equilibrium, how Lee-Chandler principle explained shown. Okay. So this is what we discussed in this session. Hope you understand this session. It's a long session, but in this we have covered all the points of equilibrium theory, and in next session we'll come with the numericals. Until, have a nice day. Thank you.